Here is the, so our URL is the SDLC models. That's a main thing. Here are all the keywords. I'll come back this. First, let's go and understand. So we all know, right? Software development process. So software development process means from the beginning of the project to till release of the project. Till the release of the project, what are all the activities performed by the team, not by a testing team, performed by the all people. Different people will perform different actions. So that is called development process. So in the development process, we have a different stages, right? First one is requirements gathering. Second one is analysis, design, coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance, right? So these stages you have to remember. So those stages are common everywhere. So now, if you have those stages, and how you can apply a different models. Now, only important model is Agile methodology. You should tell only Agile methodology we are using. If you tell other, those are old models, still you are using waterfall model. So because recent one of my friends interview, I was just helping, and they just mentioned I'm working on Agile and waterfall methodologies. And they immediately questioned, still you're using waterfall old model. And so you have to be answerable. So basically, because you're giving a word, from that the questions will arise. So make sure you are confident on the keywords, then only give those keywords in the interview. If you're not clear about that, if you give, and you will be in trouble. So make sure that's not going to be unnecessarily raising more questions there in that area. It's not good, right? So the chances will be very less for the next rounds. Okay, so what is Agile? So what is Agile, and what is Agile Scrum methodology, and what is Agile Scrum process, and what is a Scrum team, what is a sprint, what is a user story, and how to give story points, how to estimate user story points, and what is the definition of done, definition of ready, different sprint activities. So like sprint planning, backlog refinement, sprint review, sprint retrospection. So these are the different sprint activities. All these, you should know this definition of done, definition of ready. All these are very, 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 very important. Okay, so so these are the crucial. So please don't neglect this Agile process, because they will ask this Agile process only. Okay, they will ask this Agile process only. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So, and then what tool it will support this agile process. So what tool it is supported by this agile process. So agile process is supported by Jira tool. So Jira tool will support for you agile process. Okay. So agile process. So you can manage in the Jira tool how to. So I'll show you how to use Jira tool, how to create a epic, how to create users. You don't need this, how to create them in the Jira tool, but it's already going to know. So performed by this creating epic, creating user stories by product owner. You just need to understand those user stories. So what is user stories or what is epic? I'll tell you all these points. So creating a sprints in Jira, sprint life cycle in. So what is a sprint? What is a sprint life cycle in Jira? And backlogs in Jira, creating bugs in Jira. These are all things in the upcoming topics, upcoming classes. We are going to learn this. How to write test cases in Jira with the, but this Jfire plugin is there, but you can write test cases uh, Jira itself, and creating a test cycles and executing test cases in Jira. So these are all, we'll see that, okay? How generally we are writing now with test cases in the Excel sheet, but so I'll try to show you how to do in Jira also, these classes, okay? So upcoming classes. So these are all things we need to refer. So what is a product backlog? Let's understand all these terminologies. It's a very, very important, okay? Make sure so that's the Agile process means. What is Agile? So Agile is one of the methodology, one of the approach, how you can continuous development and testing performed in the entire development process. In the process of developing the project, your development and testing activities continuously they will perform. So it is a continuous iteration of development and testing throughout the software development lifecycle of the project. So what is the answer? What is Agile? If anybody asks you, so basically it's a process or approach or methodology. It is a methodology which basically a continuous iteration of development and testing throughout the development process of the project. So both the development and testing activities are concurrent, not like a waterfall model. Waterfall model is a sequential, like a water. So you know, right, waterfalls, how it will be. So top to down, right, top to bottom. It's not like that. That's a waterfall process. But here activity is concurrent. So not depend on other phase or other process. Here everybody independent, they will do their own tasks. So that's the Agile means. Are you clear? What is mean by Agile methodology? Any
Yes,
question? Okay. So what is Agile testing? Agile testing is, it can begin at the beginning of the project with a continuous integration between the development and testing. It's not sequential. Okay, it's not sequential, it's a continuous process. So Agile team works as a single team towards a common goal for everyone to achieve the quality. And Agile testing has a shorter time frames, or those are called iterations or sprints. Iterations or sprints, we call that. Iterations or sprints, we call that. What we call that? Agile testing has a shorter time frames, or complete Agile methodology itself has a shorter time frames. Those are called iterations or sprints. A sprint is nothing but how many days your sprint is, they will ask you. So you need to tell 2 weeks. The ideal Agile sprint process is 2 weeks. Or somebody takes 4 weeks also. Okay, it depends on project to project. But you tell 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks a sprint. That's ideal Agile Scrum process. And in this 2 weeks span, you have to follow all the Agile testing process. I'll tell you what is Agile testing activities you will do as a tester. So, but there is no separate QA team they will call. All you will call development and testing, all you will call as a Scrum team. So who are all there in the project, those are all considered as a one Scrum team. Okay, that's a Scrum team means. So both the development and testing team includes both people we call Scrum team. Scrum team means development team and testing team. Both are called Scrum team. So, and what are the number of, duration of your sprint means? So what is your answer? You have to give 2 weeks. So what is meant by sprint means? What is the answer you have to give? It's a shorter duration time frame, shorter time frame for developing the features or user stories is called a sprint. So what is a sprint? A shorter time frame for developing the user stories is called sprint. So the duration of sprint, it can be a 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Okay. So these are all the questions. Please know they will ask a lot of questions on this Agile process. Please read this entire document 4 or 5 times. It's not sufficient 10 times. You read it and make a note all the important points. That's very important. Yeah. So that's what is Agile and Agile testing. So in the Agile testing, we have a different, different methodologies in the Agile process also. One is a Scrum process. A Scrum is one of the Agile methodology, Agile development methodology. So basically, which concentrate particularly on how to manage the tasks within a team. So within a team-based development environment, that is called a Scrum. So what is a Scrum? So definition you can give, it's a Agile development method which concentrates particularly how to manage the task within the development environment. So that is called a Scrum. Basically, this Scrum is taken from rugby match. So here, mainly development team and other people work in small teams. So maximum 5 people or 3 people or 7 to 9 members. A big team also will be there, 10 members, 7 members or 9 members. This is all including all the people. Basically, you have a product owner, Scrum Master, and Scrum team. In the Scrum team, you have a development and testing team. So these are the actors will be there in the Scrum process. So this is the main complete picture. If you remember this picture, and you can easily answer anything about Agile process. So when the first day of the sprint, so basically initially the product owner will go and pick the inputs from executives, stakeholders, customers, users. From them, they will gather the requirements and prepare a product backlog. So what is a product backlog? The product backlog is a list of requirements. List of requirements available in the product backlog. It's a repository where all the new features need to be developed, that will be placed in the order that is called product backlog. So what is a product backlog? A product backlog is a repository where all the new requirements, new features, new user stories are created here and placed in the order. Which one has to be picked up for the next sprint? So it will be placed in the product backlog. So where you will create this product backlog? In the Jira tool. Okay, so this is the product backlog means. Who will create this product backlog? The whole responsibility is the product owner. The product owner is going to create the requirements. Those requirement is called, so user stories or features or epic, we call them. So I'll give you the difference between epic and user story. So an epic means a big feature. So epic means a big feature. That feature is subdivided into small features, small requirements. That is called user story. So epic means a big feature. Epic means a big feature. That feature is subdivided into multiple small requirements. That is called user story. Again, epic is divided into multiple small requirements. That small requirement is called user story. That's a user story, means a requirement basically. So the requirement that need to be implemented in the project. That's the user story means and epic means. Okay. Any questions here? Who will prepare the user stories or epics? Product owner will create. Where he will place? In the product backlog. What is a product backlog? It's a repository. All the user stories are placed. That is called product backlog. It's a repository. All the user stories are placed in the order. List of what is required. That is like features, user stories. The feature also they will create. Feature is nothing but a epic. Please remember, don't confuse. Feature and epic both are common. Okay, both are same. Now everybody calling feature. Before people used to call epic. So that epic or feature is subdivided into small requirements. That is called user story. So all those are placed in the product backlog in the order. So that is called product backlog. Are we clear till this point?
Yes.
Who will prepare the requirements?
Yes, Ramesh.
Who will place all the requirements and user stories? What we call in the Agile process, the new requirement. What is the name we are calling?
Epic.
User story.
User story.
Feature or user story. Okay? Feature or user story. So those are placed in the product backlog. This first part. Everybody clear? Anybody having doubt here? Before jumping on to the second part.
Sir, product owner means what?
He's another person between the customers and for the company.
Okay.
He knows about the project, how to get the requirements, what you need to have in the project. So
Okay.
if you want to develop the project, you need requirements, right? Suppose
Yes.
you want to construct a house. What are the requirements you need?
Raw material, plan.
From your okay, that's correct only. But before that also, you have to from the scratch.
House plan.
House plan.
Before that also, still you are missing. So just 2 steps ahead.
Permissions.
Hmm?
Permissions. Land.
That land, right?
Yes.
Land before also one more step is there. Still.
Before budget.
Search,
Money.
No.
searching for land.
Searching for
Search.
land, and also that also think more which area you want, right? First you have to have in mind
First
which
we
area you want, how much land you want.
requirements.
These are all the requirements, right? You will, as a owner, you will search, right? Now he is the owner for the project or product. He will go and get all those requirements. Are you clear now, Nikita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he is the one who will give for the entire project all the requirements, how your product or project has to be developed, what should be there in the project. He will go and collect all the requirements from the executives for top level people of the company and customers and stakeholders, and he will bring them and create a features and user stories. So these are developed by product one. Then the next course of action is, sir, where our Scrum team comes. I'm coming to that point. So this part, if you're clear, I'll move. Everybody can give a thumbs up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ramesh.
So the product backlog will always be placed in Jira tool, or is there any other?
Mostly we'll use a Jira tool. 90% companies or 95% companies use Jira only to manage the Agile Scrum process. There is one more, so Rally also another tool is there. That is also test case management tool. But I see in my entire career, Jira tool only in the Agile process.
Okay.
So you also tell Agile only, Jira only. No need to tell any other company also, okay? Any other tool. Because we are going to practice on Jira only. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to practice on Jira only. So you tell the same thing. Okay.
Why they are using only Jira?
That's a supporting tool for the process. Right? Entire process to support that, that's the favorable tool. Not other tools are that much user friendly, and this is the one which you can manage all the Agile Scrum process from product backlog to till the end. Everything, all activities you can show in the dashboard also. That I'm going to show you that dashboard also to you guys. Basically, why you will choose any other tool? if it is fulfilling all your requirements, right? Am I right or not? If it fulfills all your requirements, then you will opt it. Right? Anything, right? Any product you are buying, whatever it is. If it is fulfilling all your requirements, then you will buy. So the same process here. The Agile Scrum process is fulfilled and managed properly by Jira tool. That's why most of the people in the IT companies will prefer Jira. It has a lot of features. That is the reason.
Is it different access for the product owner and the tester? Because you said we are also going to the test as a tester, we are also going to use the Jira tool, right? So
Obviously. So you might not have all the permissions. Okay.
okay. Thank you.
So for you, they will just give creating the defects. And sometimes they won't give even putting a comments also. So it depends on the user level. They will control that. Jira administrator will control the permissions. To whom what permission need to give, they know. Based on that, they will provide.
Okay, thank you.
That's what questions comes only. I'll give more answers. Okay. If questions are not coming, I might miss, right? Few of things. Okay, let's move on the second part. The sprint starting day, the first day of the sprint. So that is called sprint plan meeting. Sprint planning meeting will happen. So what is the first day of the sprint? Sprint planning meeting will happen. In this sprint planning meeting, team selects the user stories from the product backlog. One by one, they will pick up which one has to be developed and tested for the current sprint. That is what is going to happen here, and also gives estimates. Estimate the stories, user stories. You will estimate. Estimation means what? How many days you need to develop that user story. That's a estimation. That estimation we are calling here story points. It's an arbitrary measurement to develop the user story. That is called story points. Story points, and you can tell the product owner and Scrum Master will ask, okay, how many story points you need to develop and test your user story. And you have to give your testing point of view. You have to give, so you have to give number of story points. Basically, story points are Fibonacci series. So what is the Fibonacci series numbers? Can you tell me?
0, 1, 2,
0 won't
3,
be there
5.
here. So 0
5.
won't be there.
Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13.
Sorry, guys. So those are the Fibonacci series. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. These are the Fibonacci series. Those are the story points you are going to give for that. So 1 means you can finish in 2 hours, 3 hours. That's one story point you will give. 2 means maybe half day it will take. So 3 means 1 day it will take. Then 5 means it will be 2-3 days it will take. 8 means you need 10 days. So or 8 means one complete a sprint cycle you need. 13 means maybe 1.5 so sprint you need. So that is the story points, how we are going to estimate. These story points as a tester, you need to give. They will ask you in this sprint planning meeting. What is the first meeting will happen in the beginning of the sprint? Sprint planning meeting. sprint planning meeting will happen. In the sprint planning meeting, what you will do? We'll pick the user stories that need to be developed, and tested for the current sprint. And then what you will do apart from selecting the user stories, and what you will do, you will estimates. You will give estimates for that each user story, development story points and testing story points also you have to give both. If you are, say, developer taking 4 days, okay, how many days you need as a tester? They will ask in the same meeting. So you have to give your story points. So you will go through them before, or you can ask them, can you explain that story? Okay, as a tester, what I need to do? Only manual testing I need to perform, or automation testing also I need to write? So based on that, all questions you have to raise. If you are silent, it doesn't work out. If you give wrong estimates, then it's going to be a problem for you. I think they will think, okay, this guy is giving wrong estimates and not able to complete the task. So make sure you get a clarity on that story. As a QA person, what you want to do in that. Be clear. And so if you are not raising the questions, and it's going to be a problem for you. And also what is meant by that story, they will explain. Okay, you can ask, can you give some insights on this story? You can ask these questions. Please keep all these points in mind. You will use all these questions in the sprint planning meeting or any meeting. So the points are very important. You have to shoot the such kind of questions. Okay. And then once you get a clarity, then you give the story points. Is this clear? Who will be there in this sprint planning meeting? Everybody of that Scrum team. Everybody in the Scrum team means development and testing, Scrum Master, product owner, all will be involved here. Product owner will be there mandatorily. He will be part of all the meetings. Scrum Master also part of all the meetings. Scrum team also part of all these meetings. These are the 3 actors: product owner, Scrum team, Scrum Master. These are the 3 actors. So that's a sprint planning meeting. What will happen? Is this clear for everyone before moving to the next sprint backlog meeting?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So like we are giving the time limit as story points, right? So in that, like say for example, this is the beginning of the level, right? So if the time limit exceeds, what we are going to do? Like, do we need to, ask more time in the upcoming meetings, or like what is the thing?
Yeah, so that's a good point. Thank you, Manju. So basically what you need to do is you give the reason why you need more time. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So you justify, okay? You justify, okay? These are the more scenarios we need to test it. We need to include them also because we didn't include in the initial day. And now we need this extra story point. They will increase if there is a reasonable justification from your side, and definitely they will increase. There is no wrong with that. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to give a justification. Okay, what you are adding extra. So please come up with that clear instructions from your side must be there, and express that in the meeting. Then they will increase the story points.
So can you please tell that time limits, like 1 story point means you told, right, 2 hours. So
yeah, 1 story point means is a quick you can finish in an hour. Okay, that's a 1 story point means.
So
and 2 story points means you can finish in maybe 3-4 hours you can finish it.
Like development and testing both together.
That is your task that they
Only
might have completed.
test.
For everyone, even developers also, if they give 1 story, they have to finish quickly. Not for only testing team. It's these terminologies are applicable for both development and testing.
Okay.
Development means what? They will develop, right?
Yeah.
They will develop it for them also. For developing, maybe small change, and they can finish it in 1 hour, right? Why do they need more? And that's why they will give one story point.
Okay.
And you have just maybe one bug fix verification. Do you need a whole day? Not required, right?
Yeah.
Just one story point is enough. That you can give one story point for bug fix verification. Or 2 story points means maybe 2 hours or 3 hours you might need, or 4 hours. And 3 story points, half day you need. So you can take 3 story points. Or a full day you want, also you can take it, 3 story points if you give. And 5 means you might need 2-3 days. So that's a 5. And 8 means complete sprint. Complete sprint you need. 8 story points you are giving means. And 13 story points means you need, maybe it will span even other sprint also. That's how the story points we are going to give. Okay, that's the first sprint planning meeting. Any other questions before jumping onto the sprint backlog?
So if being questioned for story point, like in the interview, like how much time, like how many story points you have completed for that project, or what will be the good answer to give?
Okay, so the good answer is basically you can, it depends on the complexity you have to tell. Directly you cannot tell that. So the complexity of your feature, right? So the complexity you are taking, the story is a very complex one. 8 story points, development itself 8 story points. That is entire, it is taking entire sprint. Then you can say 8 story points you develop, you opted and you completed it successfully. Basically, what will happen is in the Scrum team, every person story points will count. This many story points will be given for that particular sprint. All the party story points are 110 story points. One person taking some 5, some 8, some 5. There are 5 people. So you take some 40 story points. You are finishing 5 people means that's a good, right? And you can say entire team has finished 40 story points. Or if you ask only specific, you tell your, yeah, I finished 8 story points. Okay?
Okay.
Clear? So you have to tell always in the convincing way, saying that, okay, we'll see the complexity first. The complex means 8 story points. Medium, high, medium, low, like that you will divide the complexity of user story, right? Based on that, the story points will vary. So based on that, you tell that. But don't wait there. Give any thing and make sure while giving, why do you need this? If they are question, they will immediately get a question on immediately. Okay, you are giving 8 story points. Why? And you have to give, yeah, these are the complex scenarios are there. Complexity is there in the testing process. That's why we need this. So immediately you have to prepare for the justification also. That's important. Okay, that's the sprint planning meeting. Any other questions?
Is there any priorities included for the user stories? Which one go
Yes,
first?
that's what I hear in the product backlog, that priorities are already planned. Who will plan that? Product one.
Product
He
one.
will tell, okay, I want this user story first.
Okay.
This is already ordered. This is the ordered list of user stories, features here in the product backlog.
Okay, thank you.
Did I answer
Com-
your question?
Yep.
Okay.
We were mentioning complexity of the user stories now, sir. So can you mention like some of the challenging user stories which require more time? Like,
Yes. So some of the challenges means, for example, you have a more complex setup, right? So for testing the feature, you need more time for setting up the environment. That's one challenge. And test data preparation, another challenge. Test data is a crucial challenge for the testing team. So if you don't have proper test data, you cannot finish that. That's another second challenge. Environment preparation. And there is a dependencies. For example, one microservice is developed by other team, and your team is your Scrum team is developing a feature, but this feature depends on other team. If other team is not ready, and you cannot, even though if you developed here in this sprint and they are not ready, the data won't flow. But how to test it? If they don't give how to test it, you have to think. These are the challenges. Okay. You have to use a mocking. Okay, marking up that individual module only, individual feature, the user story, how to test in your limit only. And you have to think about that. So basically risk is going to come, immediately you have to plan it. How to do that. That is what the challenges is. Test data preparation, test environment preparation. And so if there is any dependency, the dependency is not successful, then what is the alternative thing? That's another challenge. And so environments are going down, so not supporting for your testing. These are all the challenges will be there, right? All these challenges you have to face it and finish in within the time period. Okay, and also you are so in between that you are getting bugs also, complex bugs. So you are verifying a huge data. Such cases you have to verify you have to catch that data in the stream. So there is again the applications now deploying in the AWS cloud or Azure cloud. So when you deploy there, and the message is going to transfer in the network from one layer to other layer as a topics. That topic ID, you have to catch them. So that will take more time for you to understand that process, right? And you are new to that cloud, then how definitely it will take time or not, right? All these points you have to consider. So tell these points. So please make all these points and make a note of points in one of your notes and prepare for the interview. Okay. Yeah, good Vandana. The points are this kind of questions I want from other people also, so that I can give my experiences here. Yeah.
okay, so thank you.
That's why I'll encourage people to give more questions. You should be more questions, you will get more from me. If you're not asking questions, you won't get anything. So just you will get only this process. So
And
don't
in
feel
case-
it is a silly or it is a small one. If I ask, I will get ashamed of. You should not do that. Okay. Yeah. Any other question?
Sir,
And
is product owner belongs to our company only or customer side?
Sorry, can you come again, Nikta?
Is product owner belongs to our company only?
Yes. Yes. The product owner will be different for each Scrum team. Or sometimes product owner will span across the Scrum teams also.
Okay.
He's a employee of a company, not for a other. Why he will work other person to the company? No, always everybody in this process are all our employees only, in this company employees only.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
And you mentioned the challenges, right? Like how you overcome the challenges, like if they ask like it is like AWS cloud, you were saying that is not our
You need to get trained that.
So we'll get support, right? From
You will get support from development team. So you can ask a development team, right? You can
Yeah.
ask development, can you show me how? So you record the session and follow. First time you are not following. So next time listen that, follow that. Or you learn, you get trained on this AWS. You tell that in advance in the meetings. So I'm not aware of AWS. So I need a training on that. I need some insights on that. So who can help me? You can ask. And so Scrum Master responsibility that is. He is the one who will take care of that trainings, anything you need, any info you need, anything you are blocked, and you can talk to this guy. He is the one who will clear the obstacles, clear the impediments, any impediments you have. He will clear for any team member. That's his responsibility. Okay?
that
Are you
can be
clear?
addressed only in meetings, or we can.
Not in meetings, not necessary in meetings. You can raise in the meetings and also in the communicator, right? Internal communicator you have. For your Scrum team, there is a channel in the Slack. Or if you're using Teams, there is a group. So only your team will be there. The Scrum Master also part of that team. And product owner, everybody will be there. So then you will go and interact with him.
Thank you,
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Good points we are getting. Good questions we are getting. I hope you are all these questions you are getting answers, I think. Please make a note again, listen this video and make a note of each and every point and the challenges I listed out, and then how you can overcome. So you are facing a problem with the test data. So talk to that developer and try to prepare the test data in the meeting. And environment. So you are facing, you take help from the development team or somebody else who can help. And if development team is not able to help, you talk to Scrum Master. I stuck here. Could you help me here? So you talk to Scrum Master. He will point to some other person or he will jump on immediately. So, but don't wait till the end of the day. Okay. So this immediate responses are important here. There is no negligence, no waiting are encouraged in this Agile process. Waiting till the last minute, last end of the day, and whole day you are wasting, and means you are not, you start immediately. Any process, anything you start immediately. Here there is no delays. If you do delays, it's going to be a bigger problem for you. Okay. Yeah. Shall I move now? Sprint backlog. What is sprint backlog? Sprint backlog is nothing but the task assigned to each person, and you given the story points in the sprint planning meeting. After that, each user story, you will again break out into small tasks, like as a tester. So what are the what are the tasks of a tester? Creating test cases, right? First your task, right?
Yes.
Creating the test cases.
Test cases.
That's the first task. You break down that. Create a new task for that user story. That is called subtask you can create. So, and give the subtask name. So design the test cases for this user story. So and so user story. That's a task you are going to give. That's how you will break out the user stories in the sprint backlog meeting. Then daily Scrum meetings. Daily Scrum meetings, what you will discuss. So just a 15 minutes, a stand-up meetings or a DSM, or we call daily Scrum meetings, stand-up meetings. We call this a Scrum meeting. We call Scrum calls. We call this this is the one. Daily Scrum meeting is, so this is the one. DSM or Scrum call. I have meeting, we'll say this is the meeting. What you will discuss. Every team member, you have to give a status update. So if you are silent, they won't accept it. You have to talk here. If you are silent, you are out of the team and out of the company also. Okay, so make sure. So more actively you need to participate in this Agile process. And you have to give your status. What you have done yesterday, what you are going to do today. And any blockers are there, you will discuss in this daily Scrum meeting. That's a stand-up meeting. So stand-up meeting, what you will discuss, every individual team member, what completed in the last 24 hours, what task you performed, and today what task you are going to do, or any blockers are there, any impediments are there, any problems are there, you can discuss in this meeting. Then that's it. All the team members gives the status, then the meeting will be closed. So that's the daily stand-up meeting. So then sprint review meeting. So this is the just before the end of the, before the release, before the sprint end, you will review that all this Scrum Master and Product Owner will review the tasks assigned to you guys, how you are performing, whether those are in the completable status or they are ready to give a final demo or not, you will review here in the sprint review meeting. So basically sprint review meeting, what will happen? Each task assigned to you, how you are performing, what is the status. Every day they will monitor here, but at the same time, before the final day, and they will take up all the stories, what are all the stories taken for the development and testing. They will review one more time, how many are going to complete, how many are going to be spillover. Spillover means next sprint. Because you are not able to finish in this sprint, it has to move to next sprint. That's a spillover, we call that. So that will be decided in this sprint review meeting. Then once this is done, last day of the sprint, the 15 days are done. So last day of the sprint, whatever the task you tested or development team completed development, you have to give a demo to wider audience, like your product owner, QA team and dev and Scrum Master, everybody will be there. And you have to give a demo on the new feature that is developed and tested. How you tested, you can give a demo here. Then they will accept your user story. So that's the definition of done also comes here, definition of ready, definition of done, and acceptance criteria. I will discuss all these points, okay? So all these terminologies are important. Definition of done, definition of ready, and acceptance criteria. What are all these points? So then you will give a final demo on the feature that is a story you developed or development developed. Once that is accepted, and a lot of questions you will get here in the demo time. So you have to face all the questions, and if you answer, they will accept your story, and then they will make it a close or done. Your story is done. That's the after final demo. So finished work only will give a demo. See, finished work only will provide a demo to product owner and Scrum Master. Your product owner has to accept it. You completed or not, product owner has to accept. If he accepts, then he will tell Scrum Master, okay, finish make the story completed, make the story done. That's what he will do that. Then once this demos are done last day, another meeting will happen, that is sprint retrospection meeting. Sprint retrospection meeting, what you will discuss, what went well, what went wrong, any improvement areas, any shout outs for the team members who helped you in the sprint for completing the tasks, accolades, shout outs and so any good thing happened, any bad thing happened, bad experiences, or any actions needed to take to improve the process, all those points you will explain, and that will be recorded in the retro board. We call that retro board. So that with that, the sprint will be over. One sprint will be over. This is the entire Agile Scrum process. So what are the meetings? All the meetings. Remember, sprint planning meeting, sprint backlog meeting, daily Scrum meeting, sprint review meeting, a demo, and sprint retrospection meetings. So these are all the Agile ceremonies, Agile meetings. Okay, so that's all about Agile process. Any questions before closing? I have another class.